And it's the big breaking story that has been coming through in the last few hours today. And the former president of the Republic, Jacob Zuma, has been placed on medical parole. This means Zuma will complete the rest of his sentence in community corrections. For more analysis, I'm joined now by Nthabiseng Dubazana from Dubazana Attorneys. Thank you for making the time and speaking to me at such short notice, Nthabiseng. Just broadly, medical parole, what are the contours, legal contours thereof? What do we need to know? What are the essentials that we need to know about the laws that govern this?
So firstly, an inmate or a prisoner who is now being placed on medical parole has to meet the criteria that they cannot, functionally take care of themselves within the correctional services. They are at a position whereby the medical facilities within the correctional services itself cannot assist with their illness. So therefore, they are now placed on medical parole whereby their illnesses or the illness that they suffer from can be attended to outside the facilities or the correctional facilities. And also, you must be a low-risk reoffender. So in other words, you must be seen as somebody who will not reoffend while they're being placed under medical parole, because it's not like normal parole, but you've actually served the time you were supposed to up until the half measure of it, and then you have the right to now stay the remainder of the half outside. So what happens is that in such a situation, once you have been placed on medical parole, there will be conditions as to how you will then conduct yourself while you're outside of the correctional facility. So things like you'll probably be visiting the correctional service center once a week or twice a week, signing into a register to show that you're still present, you're still around, and you're still adhering to the regulations or the rules that were given to you when the parole was granted to you. Either that, if your health is in a position whereby you can go to the facilities, or somebody is then sent to your facilities, to your home, I beg your pardon, whereby they can check on you to make sure, one, you're still in the parameters of where you're supposed to be, and also if you are still under the health situation that you were in, and then you can find the register the register log that you're supposed to sign to show that you are still adhering to the rules and regulations that are given to you when you are placed under medical parole.
So just your reading then, the Department of Correctional Services grounds this parole decision for Jacob Zuma on Section 75, Section 75(7)(a), in that's at the discretion of the Commissioner of Correctional Services, and it applies for an inmate who is serving a sentence of less than 12 months, and basically they can be placed on medical parole with the conditions that you just described. What's your sense then of how much of a fit this is for former President Jacob Zuma, who is serving a sentence of 15 months, not 12 months, as stated here, but who is a man of 79 years of age, but who is also unwell from what we know?
Correct. Although the sentence does not fall within the 12 months, it's a little bit over. The other criteria that are for a person who can be set on medical parole have been met. And also it's at the discretion of the commissioner, right? So which means that each case is judged on its own merit. So it would mean that looking at the circumstances of this specific individual, it would mean that it would look like that the commissioner says that he falls within the realm of somebody that can be granted such medical parole. So the fact that he's 79 years, like you've mentioned, he's low risk for reoffending, his health is deteriorating, and from what we've seen or heard in the past few weeks or so, that he has to undergo certain operations and all of those things. Therefore, he falls within the criteria of being granted medical parole, falling short of the issue of the months that he's actually serving. But other than that, I think that that's what the commissioner looked at as a whole in order to determine whether he can fall within the realm of somebody who can be released on medical parole.
I wonder how much debate will go into the fact that, strictly speaking, he is serving a 15-month sentence and not a 12-month sentence, which is prescribed as per that section of that act. But I'll leave that there for now. And I want to ask you a different kind of question, Nthabiseng. This comes as there's been a bit of toing and froing around former President Jacob Zuma being examined by a medical officer to be appointed by the National Prosecuting Authority in that matter that is pending before the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, and reports indicating that he was not keen on that, despite the fact that this was in terms of a court order to which his legal representatives actually acceded for that court order to be granted. This new development now of him being on medical parole, I imagine that it will weigh in one way or another in the conversations that happen next week when that case is back at the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. What do you think?
100%. It could either go one of two ways. It could be that as a result of him being granted medical parole, he might be in a position whereby he will be able to appear in court on the next court date and the matter proceeds as it was supposed to. Or it would mean because he's granted medical parole, his situation has deteriorated so badly that he cannot be present for the matter, and the matter might get postponed in any event. So it's just interesting to see how that would work out. And considering that his doctors and himself were saying that they will not allow a doctor appointed by the NPA to assess his medical condition, they will have to then work on just the report that has been given to the court by the medical practitioner assessing his health. So it will be interesting to see which way it would go next week. Is his health stable enough for him to appear, or is hence he was given parole, or his health has deteriorated so badly that that's why he was given parole in order for him to be attended to outside of the facilities of correctional services.
Yeah, we're in for some fascinating times. Thank you for that. That is Nthabiseng Dubazana from Dubazana Attorneys, right? So there'll be a lot of debate, I must say, because this section of the Correctional Services Act of 1998, that, not me, forget about me for a moment, don't worry about me. What the statement from Singabako Nxumalo says is that they are relying on Section 75. I've got to go to the specific subsection. 75.7a is the statement. And 75.7a, that section talks about a prisoner serving a sentence of less than 12 months imprisonment can be placed under correctional supervision or day parole by the commissioner. The commissioner may do that. But as you and I know, former President Jacob Zuma serving 15 months. I'm not questioning the commissioner. I do believe that they will actually give us more reasons what kind of thinking went into that. We will have to see whether it fits nicely, hand in glove, with that provision, because if you purport to rely on a certain section of the law, well, you've got to have a nice fit for it. And from what I can see, I don't know, 15 months, 12 months, let's debate that.